My name's Matt. Little background on me. In college, I started a real estate photography and videography company as well. While I was in college, I was scaling that up. And during that time as well, I was studying programming and machine learning at school. And so I was really obsessed with growing the real estate media business, trying to create not a job, but like many of you, a real asset where I could be hands off, have high margins, and just have it make me money passively. So, by the time that I graduated college, I had scaled up Luxury Vision, my media business, to 100K a month. And so I decided at that point to hire someone else to run it, Daniel, who's actually here today, and then go all in on what I think was causing us the most pain at that time, which was photo editing. And so that's become AutoHDR, which is the first, in my opinion, usable AI photo editor for our space. And that's what I'm obsessed with now and building. So today I'm going to talk about how you can leverage AI, not just AutoHDR, but how you can leverage AI to scale. Let's talk about how you can automate your business. So first of all, everyone here has a bottleneck, right? It's the reason you're not growing. And if you're here, you probably want to grow, right? This isn't like a luxury photography conference. We're trying to figure out how to be business owners and do more volume, ultimately. So I want you to think about, what is your main bottleneck? Like, we all have our problems, but there's one thing that is just choking out your time every single day. And if you don't know what that is, just do a simple exercise, right? Like, think about your day-to-day schedule. If you tracked your day-to-day, what would you be spending the most hours doing, right? Is it QC on photos? Is it reviewing videos if you're doing luxury video? Is it recruiting? Do you still have pain in the ass clients like texting you and emailing you that you haven't got a VA for yet? What is that for you, right? Because that is the main thing that is holding you back from growth. So let's try to unlock that, right? So regardless, if you do any of the, I'm going to share some tangible techniques I want you to take away. But regardless of that, I want you to think about, what is your main bottleneck and how can we delete it using AI, right? Like, it is such a good time to be a business owner. It's exciting. Like, with AI, you can do so much with your time. There's so much leverage you can get. So let's make use of it. Like, it needs to be your best friend. So I'm just going to give you a few examples. And for us personally, at Luxury Vision, my real estate photography business, it was two things, right? Getting clients. How do you get clients in a systemized way? And then the administrative work of fulfillment. When I first started, probably like all you guys, I was just using Google Drive, upload the raw photos, get a link, send it to the editor, wait for it to get back, all this stuff. And then these software products came out like Spiro, Aryeo, Autonomo, right? Where you could automate that. And so we're taking it to the next level. But fundamentally ask yourself, what consumes your day? So first of all, I'm going to talk about how we get clients now on autopilot. And there's three primary ways that we do this. And the first is the Instagram method. And who here knows what that is? Cool. So a lot of you guys do that. And fundamentally, the idea behind that is that by the time that you get in touch with an agent, whether you're calling or emailing, they have seen your face so much that they already feel like they have a connection, right? For a lot of us, Instagram is our portfolio. It's not our website. Our best, highest quality work is on Instagram, and we want everybody in our market looking at that. And so you need to be everywhere. Like, you need to be all over every single comment section and replying to every single story of every broker who's in your list of ideal clients. And so what we did here is we made a system so that you don't need to spend hours doing that. And the tools I'm showing, we made publicly available on AutoHDR. This one's autohdr.com/IG, but it doesn't matter. You could use ChatGPT for this too. You could do this, but you could get a virtual assistant to do this, and they can take screenshots of these stories. And then with the right prompt, it can create a great reply, and they can just be sending it all day, right? Until you hit your cap. And you should cap that out every single day. And then you're replying and building a relationship with every single agent in your market. So they're going to your page, they're checking you out, and by the time you hit them with that cold call, they know who you are. Same thing goes for Instagram posts, right? If you're congratulating this guy who just sold his $5.6 million house, he's going to like you, and when you reach out to him, it's going to be a lot warmer of a lead. So that's one way you can automate this process. Instead of manually doing it, hire a VA to do it, use AI. They'll have perfect English, and it'll be Like, you can put your favorite marketing or copywriting or sales resources into a GPT and have it customize all of that wording in the most optimal way, okay? Here's another one that's worked really well for us. So who knows what a lead magnet is? Right? JT, do you want to explain what a lead magnet is?
It's the freebie you give your client in exchange for their lead.
Yeah, right, freebie. So something that you give away for free that actually gives value. So it gets someone in, it gets them interested, but they haven't bought in yet, right? So what better way to show your client that you can do kick-ass work than a lead magnet? So for us, we go in Zillow and we just filter by price, right? Because the best agents are the ones who are listing the most expensive homes. So here we're on Zillow. Our market is Nantucket, Massachusetts. Top priority, we filter by price. We go to the agents. We see what their listings are. You know, pick your poison. What do you want to shoot? So for us, we find the ideal property, and then we can just download the photo from Zillow. And if you want it to be a bit higher quality, you can go to their website. And then we generate a Twilight. So we used to do this with human editors. Now you can use it with AI. And you can do like 100 of these in a day. You can take their cover photo, which is the most important photo for their listing to get traction, generate a virtual Twilight, and then send it to them, right? And this is something, you can do that in bulk. This is something that Daniel does. Here's an example where he ran it through. He sent a little voice message like, hey, saw this listing. It's gorgeous. I thought this Twilight photo would really help it pop, make it stand out for buyers. She loved it. And the next DM is a collaborative video that we did for this $15 million property. You have a question?
Yeah, do you know how many of those, like the percentage that you retain from the clients?
So the most important thing, they need to be able to open the DM if you're doing it this way, which means they need to be following you, which comes down to the Instagram method. And then otherwise you can do it over email. So those are two different open rates, but you probably have a better idea. It's probably like 1 in 5, 1 in 10 will reply to you. And then from there, it's just a numbers game. Yeah.
Hey, Matt.
Yeah.
Can you go back to the example of the AI thing on the story reply?
It's just a photo. It's a story. This lady just sold the property, right? So we screenshot that in. And your virtual assistant who's doing this for you might not have all the context of like what to say or the perfect English. And that's fine because we can leverage AI, right? And so it says, wow, Anne, congrats on the sale in such a bustling market. And then it's talking about the buyers that are, or the sellers that are listed in the post. And it specifically names them because it can read the context. And it's saying, hey, how did Ahmed in Lubna find the process with multiple offers? So it's like actual catered, you're trying to actually start a conversation. You're not just sending emojis. You want to actually show that you know about the industry and that you care about what they're doing. And so those are the first two ways that we get new clients. And again, this is all like about giving value. So it's kind of another lead magnet. If someone has an awesome listing video, do you guys shoot agent on camera reels? Yeah, a lot of you guys shoot those. And those pay pretty well, right? Like they're a pretty high order value. So here's an example of a broker, and she had a listing that we wanted to shoot. If we cold call her and say, hey, buy this video from me, the close rate's not going to be that good. But if we say, hey, we spent a bunch of time writing the script, mind if I send it over? They're going to be interested. They're going to be bought in. And then you can generate that with AI, with a good script writer. And then you can send it and be like, what do you think? And you can see she says, this is great. I love it. Like, it's not cheesy or anything. And then from there, you can call her up and try and close the deal. And it's like, what is your close rate going to be? If you've already proposed it and show that you're detail-oriented and diligent, she's going to be like, you put in this much effort and we're not even working together yet. What's it going to be like when we shoot the video? And again, instead of taking hours to do this, I literally used to sit and take 1 to 2 hours to do this. You can churn these out. You could send 100 of these a day, right? So getting clients shouldn't be your bottleneck. And this is a scriptwriter tool that we have on AutoHDR. It's free. Go to autohdr.com/scriptwriter. You can also use GPT, but it's about, you want to embed the frameworks that you want it to write the scripts with, right? And give it examples. So now let's talk about automating your operations, okay? So I hope all of you have that bottleneck in mind that we were talking about, right? The thing that's consuming the most time every single day. So here's just a few examples of things that were consuming a ton of my time every day when I was running the business. First of all, video review, right? How many times have you spent like over an hour trying to convey your creative ideas to a video editor? And it takes forever, right? Because you're bulleting out in Slack probably every single note at every timestamp. You don't need to do that. Go to ChatGPT, turn on voice dictation, watch the video once through, and say, hey, ChatGPT, I'm about to give you timestamps and feedback. And then give it the timestamps and the feedback you have, and then prompt it and say, hey, distill this down into clear, concise feedback for a video editor that might have a language barrier and communicate my creative ideas. And it's like, instead of spending an hour, you can do that within 5 minutes on a 1-minute video and get back that time every day. That's one example. Who here is still replying to every single client text and email? Raise your hand. It's something that you do not need to be doing anymore, right? If you can hire a virtual assistant at least. And that's going to be the number one way to get your time back. Not only just the time it takes to reply, but like if you're trying to do deep work, hiring or doing sales or whatever it is, and you're getting a text every single minute and you need to be answering those, it's going to take away all of your focus and you're going to be caught in this cycle of never growing. And it's never been easier to automate that, or at least give your team the resources. So basically, here's what you can do. You can do this in your media business. I've done this at AutoHDR too. Maintaining your brand voice is important. You want people on your team to maintain the same tonality that you talk to your clients with so you don't lose your boutique feel, right? So just go into your email. This will take you 10 minutes. Take your last 20 emails that you've sent, copy, paste the whole thing into a ChatGPT project or a custom GPT and say, hey, system prompt. You're a custom GPT. You take in an email and you rephrase it into my tonality. And you can also add in a knowledge base, which is everything about your operations and your orders. And now what you can do is have your VA paste in their response. It'll rephrase it in your tonality so your clients always feel like they're talking to you. You should have one shared account for all of like video, photo, scheduling, feedback for email so that you can all communicate through there. You can look, make sure that they're replying how you would like. And then use OpenPhone or some shared cell phone line for your communications, right? And then you can have a finger on the pulse of the operation, but you shouldn't be replying to all of your clients. Like that's the easiest way to tie yourself down. And I was kind of getting into this, but you need to be accumulating a knowledge base. Another thing is, how many times are you answering questions for your team and doing their job for them? You shouldn't be doing that. Like you've hired them for a reason, okay? So give them the resources they need to succeed. You should have one ChatGPT account that everyone is opening up projects in and using because it's going to tap into all those projects and you're going to have shared company knowledge. And you can also embed all your SOPs, your order page, your pricing. You can copy paste a ton of emails. All the information you have about your company, you should have in ChatGPT so that anytime, whether it's a photographer or a VA or scheduling ops person references that, they don't need to ask you. They can ask GPT first, right? And it's going to have a more aggregated knowledge base. You should be leveraging that because we're talking about bottlenecks, things that are consuming your time. If you want your time back, you need to spend less time doing your team's job for them and answering questions. You need to be doing deep work. Same thing, SOP creation. SOP creation is one of the things I like doing the least, but I can record a Loom video of myself doing something very easily. 10 minutes, copy a transcript, put it into ChatGPT, say, hey, give me a 1-page SOP checklist. That's a great thing that you can leverage so that you actually have systems in place.
Can you share with us what your knowledge base looks like?
A knowledge base?
Like your shared team knowledge base? Is that just a GPT where you upload all of your
Yeah.
data?
Upload everything. So think about all the resources you have, which is probably order page containing pricing, any SOPs that you've put together, any training resources, and then just texts, emails, any written information.
Okay.
Create a project in ChatGPT, and you can just dump it all in there. And it's plug and play. Like you actually don't need to know anything technical to do this. You just dump it in, really. And if you want to get more advanced, you can, but you don't need to. And also, all the shared chats that you have with your team will be referenced when they are asking questions. And we can get...
Mention the uploading the cumulative knowledge and then the VA's prompt or put questions in there that'll respond to the tonality. How do you build that when clients are texting me directly?
Your VA should propose the text message they would send, paste it into the GPT, It'll get reworded into your tonality, brand voice that you want, and then they can paste it back into OpenPhone.
Right, but doesn't that create like a little more work though? Back to board if you VA, because I'm getting
Share OpenPhone. Have them in OpenPhone. So you have a shared text messaging system. Everything that your clients send, your whole entire team should be able to see. Everyone that you want. Yeah.
What is that? The shared part.
OpenPhone is the one that we use personally. OpenPhone. It's been great. You can have several team members. You can get a text. You can have internal threads within that text and coordinate very easily. You can schedule things. You can set automated off hours. It's good, but there's a bunch. Doesn't matter what you use.
If your teammates that give them like their phone number out, like at their age, just like, hey, what's your number, just in case I'll do Twilights now I get hold of it. Thoughts are whatever. Can they use OpenPhone as well? Like, can the teammates access that? Where then our BA has access to that,
You can give your whole team OpenPhone. It's like an app that you can all log into.
and it's one phone. It's one phone number.
It's one phone number across all devices, and it's just an app that you log into. And I'd advise giving all of your photographers that login instead of using their personal.
That's an existing where he's got to be in you, probably.
You can port your phone number over. What we did though, every time I got a text, I texted all my clients and said, hey, this is my new phone number, text me here. Every time that I get a text in those first few months, I would say, hey, this phone number is going out of business soon, text this new one. And then now we don't respond from my personal. If I get a text from my personal, we reach out to them proactively from the business phone. All right, let's talk about pain point number 2 with us, which was editing fulfillment, okay? So like I said, we operate in Nantucket, Massachusetts. The median home price there is around $4.5 million. Now we're in some other markets as well. But every single week, like last week, these are 2 random properties I pulled. We're shooting $20 million houses. The AOV is $1,450. And 100% of the shoots are edited by AI. And here's some examples here. So Daniel, who runs that operation, sitting right there. Daniel, what was the June revenue for Luxury Vision? Do you have exact number? 115K. And how much time did you spend on photo editing, QC, or delivery, anything related to media delivery process?
You have 5 minutes.
In the whole month?
Yeah.
Under 5 minutes the whole month. And have you ever shot a real estate photo before?
Nope.
So he's never shot a real estate photo before. I put him in charge, and you know what he spends his time doing is sales. Because we have this stuff systemized and automated, right? And we're in a luxury market, arguably one of the most luxurious. But you don't scale by obsessing over every single photo that you're taking. You scale by getting your time back, automating. So, for example, Daniel spends all of his time doing sales, recruiting, and training. Because if he had to spend all of his time doing delivery, he would never be able to actually grow the business. And so it's just important to think about, like, what is actually constraining you? Are you looking at every single photo, or have you hired a VA to do that? Are you using a scheduling software, or are you still taking things and penciling them in? Same thing. A scheduling software will handle all the media delivery. Are you still sending like a Google Drive or a Dropbox link? You should not be doing that, because even if it's $5 a listing to use one of these scheduling softwares, it's going to get you back your time. One sale is going to pay for all of that. So you need to be thinking about what is the highest leverage work you can be doing and what can be automated. So we've automated 100% of our editing with AI, and that's AutoHDR. So this is what our workflow used to look like. I used to create a Dropbox folder for every single shoot. Our photographers would have to spend time culling down the photos, picking the best shots, and we have to upload the raw photos. It'd be like 2 a.m. because I know my clients are going to be complaining if I don't send them the photos on time. And at 2 a.m., I'm checking the folder. Nothing's been uploaded because the photographer got home late and the Wi-Fi cut out at shoot number 3, something like that. And then I tell the editor, I wait till the next day. Half the time it's like a holiday in Vietnam. I don't get my photos back. And then we're QCing. We have no Photoshop skills. So we have to send the fixes back. And then again, we're delayed and the client's breathing down our neck while we're waiting for the fixes. And only then do we manually upload it back to the listing page. Okay. All of that was costing me like 30 to 60 minutes a shoot, and I was fed up with it. So the AI automated workflow looks like this. You upload the photos and you get them back edited in 30 minutes. It's really that simple. Specifically, if you're using a scheduling software, Aryeo, Tonimo, Spiro, HD PhotoHub, you can now configure it so you don't do anything. You're hands off. Your photographers upload the raw photos. AutoHDR detects them. It sorts out which ones are drone shots, which ones are brackets, which ones are single bracket. Sorts it out, edits it, and then uploads it back to the actual listing delivery platform. So you can just deliver, right? So it's hands off. And even so, just for example, for Dropbox, if you don't even use a scheduling software, you just use Dropbox, you can make it so that anything your photographers upload, they don't even know that it's edited by AI. We will detect it with AutoHDR, edit it, make a new folder, and put it right back in your Dropbox. You cut out all the manual steps. It allows you to get your time back to focus on actually growing, recruiting, training, and selling. Fundamentally, this business is about two things. It's about sales and then fulfillment of those sales. And if you're not doing one or the other, it means you got a system problem, right? Because you're trying to fill in and be the glue. So once you have the system rock solid, you should just be selling and then building your team. That's how a lot of the guys here who are doing 30, 60 shoots a day scaled up.
So if you're uploading to, say, one platform, uploading the raws to that, and then AutoHDR is pulling from, say, HD PhotoHub, and then those raws will be uploaded to edited PhotoHub. How does that work?
Exactly, yeah. And it depends based on the platform.
What do you like with AutoHDR? Does it also do like item removal, special staging?
Yeah, I'll get into all that, but it's built in. So here's a cheat code for you guys. If you really want to get efficient and if you really want to stand out in your market. Good.
So I have a question. Like, do you edit based on like a different vibe for the home, or is it just kind of like one standard look for everything?
One standard style, there's style settings, you can tweak all of it. This is a cheat code that we just implemented. So basically, if you get an SD card adapter and you bring it on site, while you're closing the blinds, turning off lights, doing the monotonous stuff, even driving back to the next appointment, you can be uploading directly to AutoHDR. And then in 30 minutes, you can have those photos ready for delivery, right? So we have companies doing this in big markets. They have like 30 photographers. They're uploading as they go throughout the day. They have them staged, ready for delivery within an hour. Their clients have no idea how they're doing it, and they're the only person in their market delivering that fast. Fully automated, right? So talk about a competitive advantage. All right, so talking about those post-processing tools, our VA does all of our QC. She has no editing experience. This is one of Aaron's shot. Aaron shot this property. It was an investor property, and it was an absolute dump. And I went through to make this example. I just like circled the trash, the broom, everything on the counter, and we use the auto remove tool. This is what our VA uses too. If the car's in the driveway, if there's shoes by the door, she can circle it and just remove it. And so all the QC goes through there. Same thing, autofill, add flowers. You can tweak the brightness, tweak the contrast, right? We even have a human in the loop feature built in. So if you're doing crazy volume, you have special requests. You hit one button, it routes it to a human who gets the raw photos. And when they re-upload it back, it lands right back in your listing page. So it's everything you need in-house. Yeah, go on.
On that. So if you're doing a ton of photos on a certain day, your VA is not necessarily trained from the photo side and like what's to look for.
Yeah.
How are they catching those spaces? And because based on my experience using Sun AI, it's like it does require going back and having to manually look things to make sure that they're good.
So do you have a VA right now for your human editing team?
Yeah.
And are they trained on what to look for?
Yes.
Okay. I think it's fundamentally the same thing. If they're trained, then they know what a good photo looks like, right?
Yeah.
I also have SOPs I can send to you if you want for specifically using AI, right? Like an editing team, maybe you've trained them. Remove the car from the driveway every time. That's just something that you systemize. So in our SOP, it's remove the car from the driveway with AI.
But more like this is very detail focused. But I'm saying like based on my experience with the other AI platforms, there might be 25 photos that look great, but there's one shot that's strange or windows are blown out or whatever the case. Right. I guess it's
not saying if they had no editing experience, how are they gonna accept? So there's two options there. I was talking about the human in the loop. You can request a human edit. We have a editing team. If there's ever some special requests that AI's never going to be able to do, or at least not now, we'll plug it in there and it'll send the editor that request, and and when they upload the fix, it'll replace it right in the listing gallery there. It gives them the raw photos, so they have everything they need to edit it. So we do that. Also, with AutoHDR, I don't know what other AIs you've tried, but we have a 24/7 support team. If there's a photo you cannot use, we also work with a bunch of editors. They will get it edited and send it back to you very quickly to make sure you can deliver your photos. So here are some of the features. It has everything you need at this point. Twilights, day to night edits, grass screening. It'll automatically detect fireplaces and put a fire in the fireplace. It'll black out the TV screen. At AutoHDR, we just want to save you as much time as possible. And so we have other things like deduplication that we just rolled out. So if there's a duplicate angle, your photographer doesn't need to spend time culling down the photos to the best ones. It'll dedupe it. Same thing. Walkthrough reordering. Like, I've gone to a property before and the kitchen's ready, but the outside's not. And then you got to take a lot of time resorting it at the end. We won't waste your time. We will do walkthrough reordering and a whole lot of other stuff. So again, being hands-off is good, but increasing your bottom line is pretty good too. So on average, this is what we see. Smaller users doing like 10 shoots a month will save around $1,900, and then all the way up. So think about where you are here. Are you doing 50 shoots a month? You'd probably save around $9,600. If you're doing 100 shoots a month, really scaling up, you'd be closer to $15K. And if you're doing 200 shoots a month, you could be saving $30K to reinvest back into your business, making that hire that you've been reluctant to make. Same thing, we're spending 20 to 30 minutes on every single shoot. That adds up. When it's manual and it's not automated, that's a lot of time that you're wasting, like I've talked about, not focused on recruiting or selling and getting more clients. So if you're doing even just 10 shoots a month, that's 5 hours every single month. If you're doing 100 shoots a month, that's 50 hours that you are wasting manually doing this whole process, where you could be focused on growing your business. A lot of software is going to be scary to implement because you have to rip out your existing processes. You've been doing the same thing for the entirety of your business. And so we've made it so that in one click, you can switch. For example, Todd, the owner of Spiro, they do 12,000 shoots every single year. He switched his entire business overnight. They were doing 90 shoots every single day. They had no problems. No switching costs. You can switch overnight. It's one-click integrations, and that's why over 1,000 other people are using this. And now is the time to get started because you want to be the first in your market so you can be delivering faster and deliver that excellent service quality that no one else around you is.
You guys charge an extra the same day delivery?
No.
People have charged for it and just pay for the entire AI photo editing just on one upgrade.
That's a strategic thing. Yeah.
I've been using HDR for about a month, and it's taken about 80% of all my editing. I love it because it just works 99% of the time. And I do the Dropbox sync where it just detects and then they're done. And I don't go on the website. I just download them straight from Dropbox. But then I'm manually uploading them to Aryeo. You mentioned there's some sort of connection. I haven't been able to find that.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. I appreciate that. JT, you shoot a lot of luxury properties. You shoot arguably some of the nicest properties in the world.
Sometimes, yeah, I try to.
Yeah.
I was gonna say I don't have a question. I just want to say thank you for making this because this is absolutely incredible. I use it for all my photos, for everything I get.
You do? I was going to ask you because you shoot a lot of nice properties. Is it meeting your standards and your client standards?
Yeah, V2 especially has been significantly better.
Okay. That's cool to hear. Oh, yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, two easy questions. So do you prefer JPEG uploads or say brackets of 3?
Yeah.
One stop apart or 2?
Yeah. So I'd shoot 3 bracket, 2 EV, and JPEG. Basically, the way that the model is trained is it doesn't matter if you're shooting RAW or JPEG, the quality will be the same. And the JPEG file sizes are 5 to 10 times smaller than RAW. That's why we're able to upload on site. We switched to shooting JPEG. So no matter where you are, even if you have a bad connection, you can upload the photos in like 5 10 minutes for an entire shoot.
That was my linked question. So then all your team members are just uploading not on like a client's Wi-Fi, they're just doing it through cell phone data?
They do it through cell phone data. Yeah. Go ahead.
Does it depend on camera model too? Like if you're shooting Sony or Canon or anything else?
Nope. We've seen it all at this point.
Cool.
Occasionally there'll be like a lens camera combination we don't see, and we need to be able to get that in our database to apply lens correction, but generally we've seen enough where we have it all. Yeah. Go ahead.
Guess about implementing like a feature. Yeah, I've gone handheld pretty much past 3 years, haven't got back.
We actually shoot handheld.
Okay.
We shoot 3-bracket handheld every single shoot. AutoHDR has built-in alignment where every bracket that's a little bit shaky will be aligned together perfectly. Todd, who I was talking about at WoW Video Tours, we actually implemented that feature for him because they do 90 shoots a day and they shoot them all handheld. So the alignment is in a very good spot where, and I would actually recommend shooting handheld for everyone here. You can blast through a house if you're not carrying around a tripod. You can get better angles. You can squeeze into the corner of a bathroom, get a wider shot, and it's way quicker, just easier operationally. And AutoHDR can align all those input brackets before editing. And I want to be sensitive of time. My time is up, but I'm happy to answer questions and help everyone get set up this weekend.
You're amazing. Thank you.